Hello and welcome to another Bushwhacker review. Today we are going to be taking a look at Kurt Busch's 2017 Monster Energy Ford Fusion for Stewart-Haas Racing. Let's take a quick look at the box here. It's your typical generic 2017 box that if you got any 2015 you should expect by now. Got the white, nice white, black, and red. Got a picture of Kurt Busch, 41, action 25 years, Stewart-Haas Racing. Kurt Busch, got the window box, Action Racing Collectibles, got the render of the car right there, standard finish. They made a total of 709 of these things, standard finish 41, Kurt Busch on the back, 17, copyright and such on the bottom. Everything you should expect by now, nothing fancy. Kind of surprised they didn't give this car a more fancier box, like being that it's now the Monster Energy Cup Series, I think they would have wanted like, woo, buy our car, yay! But I guess not. Here is the car itself. As you can see, it is in fact on a base. That is not Lionel's fault, because you know some people are like, oh, I can't believe Lionel will put this. This is an energy drink. Man, Monster makes them put this thing on a base. So, if you want anyone to go after Monster. The same reason that they can't put 164s with the Monster on it and all that other stuff. But this is still a nice car. This is basically his all-star race car. Now, I know somebody's going to be like, but wait, doesn't this run all the time? It didn't just run the all-star race. No, most of the time it runs with Monster on the hood and then Haas on the quarter panel, Haas on the back, and all that stuff. The only time it's run like this, where it was Monster on Monster on Monster on Monster, was the All-Star race so far this year. I mean, it might run again, but as of recording this video, the only one I could find was the All-Star race. It was the Monster Energy All-Star race, so I guess that makes sense. Let's do a quick 360 of this car. This is a kind of modern release, not modern release, a newer release. We'll get to that later, I'm not sure why they did that, but They released the other one, the one with Haas on the side and everything, I think a few months ago, but they just got around to actually releasing the full Monster one. Like I said, it usually runs one full Monster car a year and one full Haas car a year, maybe a couple times, but most of the time it is either the split one either way with Haas on the front, Monster on the side, or Monster on the front, Haas on the side, but, you know. Let's get down to sponsors and such. On the front you have Ford Fusion number 41, Stewart-Haas Racing, Monster Energy, and Haas. Why does Haas feel the need to do that? Like, the Monster Claw on the Haas car makes a little bit of sense because that kind of fits with, like, Monster Energy stuff. But why is Haas like, we want to play too? Like, there's no reason for that. You see this does have Monster Energy on the windshield banner. I'm sure they purposely waited to make this one until they could get a Monster on it. Does have the updated A-Post logo. If you remember on the Eric Amarola, they kind of updated the logo, but it was wrong. Now they got their correct updated logo on the A-Post. That's a nice touch. Monster Energy Cup Series and all that. If you're wondering where the Coors Light logo is, a lot of times that this team doesn't run them for the fact that they have Busch, and you know Coors Light and Busch are kind of competitors or whatever. I think that's the reason. Kurt Busch's name on the name rail. You got Ford, Mobil 1, Haas, State Water Heaters, and Rush Truck Centers on the B post. Just have Haas CNC on the C post. On the side you have Monster Energy. You've got Haas Tech, Haas and Mobil 1. Got Exalta SEM and Rush Truck Centers down there. On the back you have Monster Energy, a Monster Claw. Got the Ford logo and number 41. On the deck lid and roof you have Monster Energy, Kurt Busch's name in the back window. This is number 222, Penske style. And you have the same stuff down the other side. Like I said, I don't know why they blacked that out. I don't think you can really blame Lionel because it is in fact on the render. So that means the artwork they got had it. Like, I don't know who to. I guess I blame Stewart-Haas Racing for that. I don't think it's ever ran like that, though. I'm gonna have to go back and look every time the Monster cars run if it had a blacked out side skirt for some reason where the exhaust is. I mean, I guess it's because the exhaust always kind of burns off some of the green, so maybe they were just like, why don't we just paint it black? But I don't know. This kind of annoy me. Let's take a look under the hood. See that it just says powered by Ford, Mobil 1, Haas, and Monster Energy under there. There's the engine detail if you want to see it. Under the deck lid, you got your typical fuel cell and such back here. The roof flaps do in fact open. And there's the inner side of the base, but underside of the car. See, it is screwed in two places with a triangle screw. So, you'll need a triangle screw. And it's also kind of glued over with this like epoxy shit. So, if you want these off the base, it does take a little work. You have to basically get the epoxy stuff out, then get a triangle screwdriver, unscrew the screws, and get them off. Obviously, you kind of want to be careful with these. Because, like, if for a 164, you don't really, unless you're going to sell it, you don't really give a shit about the base. But if you have a 124, it actually is the way this car is held into the box. The styrofoam is different on these. They're not screwed into the box. It is literally like a little slot of styrofoam where this base can slip under. So if you get rid of the base or break it or anything, you're not going to be able to get back in the box. So be very careful about that. Now, if you want a 164 of this, you can't, because Monster doesn't allow themselves a 164. You're just stuck with the generic Haas on Haas car. This is the only 164 produced so far this year for Kurt Busch. I believe they might be making his Mobile 1 car from Richmond in a 164 scale, but like I said, this is your only chance. I don't even think they made a 164 of his Daytona 500 went on a base or anything, but which, like I said, it does run like this once a year. Last year it ran in the Chase, so technically the diecast was still inaccurate. Do I have that? Yeah, there it is. Here's last year's. It did run like this with Haas on Haas on Haas, but it was in the, I think, Chicagoland race in the Chase, so therefore it had the Chase stuff, and therefore it's still inaccurate. But like I said, the last time they actually produced a Monster 164 was this one. Kyle Busch's Nationwide car. This is a pretty rare promo now. I bought one back in the day off a Kyle Busch Motorsports site. So I'm like, oh, hey, a monster car, I'll buy that. And now this is insanely rare. I should sell this. You can just put this up on eBay for like a 99-cent starting. I think it goes for like $70 and $80 for a 164. I've seen that before, so who knows. But anyways, this is a fantastic looking car. Like I said, the little black on the side skirt does kind of bug me, but overall this is just a beautiful looking car. It does still have the kind of like glossy, smooth matte finish that they used on a few cars recently. I think they started on the Martin Truex Jr. Pocono in the one year, but I'm glad they're sticking with this kind of matte. This looks 10 times better than just like overly rough and weird look of some of the older matte cars that Lionel produced. It does still have some of those little issues that's coming across. But you can see there's like bubbles in a lot of the like gaps and stuff. For some reason that happens more with matte cars than anything else. I never really understood that, but so definitely look closely if you're getting one. And also, which is probably worth pointing out, that says of a white splitter. Now some would be like, why isn't it green? Yeah, I wish it was green, but it is accurate. I looked at a picture of it from the All-Star race, and it is in fact white, so can't complain there. Really the only inaccuracy I could find from the All-Star race was that it obviously had a winter sticker by then because it won the Daytona 500. This Haas Tech logo was replaced with some other company, and I think that was about it. I didn't really get many pictures of it, but I just was trying to see if it was accurate because I was trying to remember, like, when did the Monster on Monster Car run this year? Did it run this year? So I started looking it up before I bought it because I was like, you know, I don't want to, if it's never going to actually run, then I don't really want it, but it did run, so if you're into All-Star cars, it's the one for you. This should be relatively easy to get right now. It's still, you know, new. It just got released like a week ago, so if you want it, you can get it when you can. Or, I mean, if you really don't, if you want a more, like, primary version of it, you kind of want the one with Haas on the side, but really, that's never been my cup of tea. I prefer it to be either, if it's a half-and-half car sponsorship, make it a half-and-half paint scheme. I've never been a fan of like cars like this, where it's like, this is clearly made for Monster, so just slapping a different sponsor on the side is kind of stupid. There's the same thing with other teams do it, like Strash Racing does it a lot for some reason, but there's other teams that do it, like say Logano, actually Kentucky a few weeks ago had it was his regular Show Pennzoil Scallop car, but it had Auto Trader on the quarter panel. Some of them do actually do half-and-half paint schemes, like Jamie McMurray did a McDonald's and half Cessna car at the Daytona 500 this year. So, like I said, if you're going to have two sponsors, make it two. At least this one, when it runs with Monster, kind of makes sense, because it almost looks like it's the red Haas car breaking up into the black of the Monster Energy car. If you want to go that route, but I don't know. This car with Haas on the side just kind of looks stupid. I wish Haas would just finally get over themselves and just let Monster have the car. Like, Haas, you realize you're sponsoring Boyer for most of his season now, so if you really want your car name on a car, just stick with that and give this car to Monster. But whatever. But this is a fantastic looking diecast, and I think it's pretty much all there is to say. So this has been a review of Kurt Busch's 2017 Monster Energy Ford Fusion. Hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.